Hello everyone, Ace here, and today I'm here to announce the news that Count Dankula is officially one of the top 10 brokest YouTubers there ever was. At least according to WatchMojo.com, who decided to feature him in their video titled 10 YouTubers Who Went Broke. The video, by the way, is actively being ratioed, and I suspect for placing Count Dankula in the 7th spot. Part of it, I suspect, is the portrayal of events as described by WatchMojo, what with WatchMojo claiming that the dog was innocent, which by itself implies that Count Dankula was somehow guilty. And by guilty, I mean of actual wrongdoing, not making a joke. And by the way, they point out that he claims he made a joke, when in fact everyone who has watched the video knows that he in fact made a joke, because, among other things, that joke happens to be denigrating to Nazis, the group that the people who think it's not a joke think that he is unironically supporting. You know, supporting by actively insulting them by getting his dog to mock them. However, what makes Count Dankula on this spot even more hilarious is the reasoning behind why he's there. Because apparently, WatchMojo thinks that just because Count Dankula was fined £800 by the British government, that this and this alone is reason enough to make him number 7 for the top 10 most broke YouTubers out there. Which, as one commentator put it, is really stretching the truth. Even Justice Dankula decided to comment on this matter himself by stating, quote, "Did WatchMojo seriously just include me in their top 10 YouTubers who went broke video because the cops stole £800 from me? I understand that by Scottish standards that's a Musk-level fortune, but come on!" Naturally, people including Count Dankula himself are starting to meme it up, because let's be honest, WatchMojo trying to argue that he's broke because of that is, quite frankly, hilarious. But of course it needs to be said once again that Count Dankula should never have been arrested in the first place, much less fined. And I believe now is a perfect opportunity to emphasize just how ridiculous the Scottish government was for doing that. And my way of doing this is going to be to show you a parody article of sorts. But while the article itself is parody, the story that it's about is in fact very real, and serves as an excellent comparison of the Scottish government today to that of the Nazi German government of World War II. The article itself is simply titled, "German Government Decides Not to Press Charges Against a Finnish Man for the Grossly Offensive Crime of Teaching His Dog to Mock the Third Reich by Imitating the Fascist Salute." This article, which was apparently written on March 11th of 1941, also goes on to state, quote, "Since the end of January of this year, the German Gestapo have tried to bring the man to court for the crime of insulting the migrant chancellor. But the judge overseeing the matter said, 'We may be National Socialists, but we still aren't tyrannical enough.'" Now, like I've said, this is a satirical article. However, also, like I've said, it is in fact based on a very real story. And for those curious, I will of course be leaving a link in the description below to an archive of an article about the real story for those curious. And also, fun fact, in the actual historical story, the Nazi government did indeed decide not to press charges because they weren't able to completely establish the context behind why the dog was doing this, and apparently even Nazis believe that context matters at least to some degree. Food for thought for those who wanted to defend the Scottish government's decision here. With regards to WatchMojo's decision to place Count Dankula as the 7th most broke YouTuber of all time, I am left wondering why nobody else could have taken up that position. Why not, for example, Darkside Phil, who famously screams about his poverty all the time, and to be honest was screwed over even harder by a local auto repair shop than Count Dankula was by the Scottish government, at least monetarily speaking anyways, provided you don't include court costs, which of course WatchMojo.com did not actually include in their assessment. Another option I would suggest would be perhaps Drakenlord, since that man ended up losing his home in that situation. And for those curious about that situation, I should mention that Count Dankula has gone over Drakenlord quite extensively in his Absolute Mad Lad series. But the point I'm ultimately making here is that placing Count Dankula on this list exclusively because he was fined £800 is a silly decision, and one that I can't really see be justified, at least if you look at the argument being made by WatchMojo. Now, I believe I've covered all that really needs to be said here, so I'll finish by reminding everyone once again that I will of course be leaving a link in the description below to an archive of an article about that story from World War II, so you can check it out for yourself if you should so desire. But in any case, this has been Ace. Hope to see you guys again soon. Take care. Ace out.